grab a cup of coffee with me and let's head down to my art studio. I'm so glad you're here with me. My name is Cheryl Wilson. Thank you for coming back. If you're new, I'm going to do something fun today, and I just hope you enjoy it. I wanted to show you something really fun, and I talked about this in one of my past videos that I would do this, and that is making items either to sell or for gifts that are smaller scale, especially as the holidays are coming up. I love holidays. I love giving my own art, and I don't say that because I just want to give my own art. I do other things, but a lot of people love to get a piece of original art, and every year I do have some people that will tell me, okay, this year I'm really liking some of your dragonflies, things like that. So I still appreciate those that appreciate my art. So I wanted to show you a way to do just a couple things. There's so many things you can do, and I'm just gonna talk about cards, mini art, and art that is matted. And here's an example of a finished, this is the art envelopes that I bought, and then a label on the back. So this is a finished product of something that you might sell. And then this is a finished product if you wanted to make it and give it to especially clients of yours that have been a part of your life, or you want to introduce yourself as an artist. This is a card that you can give. Now this is, I'll show you how to do this, but this is original handmade dragonfly on watercolor paper with high flows, and then I cut it out and adhered it to the paper, and I'll show you that in the next segment, some of the supplies I get. These are actually paper, and I'll talk to you about it. This is art that I've done in the past, and then I have they're still original art because I print them out, the prints, and then I hand paint, so they're still all individually. And again, you find the supplies in the envelope. And then some of the papers are, I've cut them out of original watercolor paper. So those are the cards. And then these are fun because these are just little matted frames that you can get. You can order them in bulk on Amazon or another craft store. I've had these from the past, so I don't know the cost of them right now. But then you can, again, take your original art on watercolor paper, and they make beautiful gifts. You can sell these. I've sold a lot of these. I do have a backing on here, or you can make a backing to save money out of another piece of watercolor paper. And it's the same thing. You get your plastic backing, and then you put it on in a sleeve. And then these are sheets of, and I'll do the supplies in a minute, but you just take one of the circles off and stick it to the back so it has all your information. And this is just done on my printer. And then these little minis, and when I got these, I have a whole bunch. I'm actually almost out, but I did a recost of these, and they're around $3.50 at Michael's. And they already have the mat inside, so you can take your art. On one I did a bunch of little maquettes. I've talked about that before. There's just like making sample art, and some of them came out so pretty I just framed them. And then others, these were from when I did the pouring art, and I just dipped the paper in the paint. And that's something that you can do if you have paint on your palette and it's leftover. Dip your paper in the paint. And then on this one, I just embellished it with a white pen. So in the next segment, I will show you some of the supplies that go into creating these. And then I'll actually do a creation of some art, because I know I get a lot of requests to actually do art on the channel, and we'll go from there. So I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, in this next segment, there's a lot going on here. So we talked already about the little frames that you can get at Michael's, and they run around $3.50, I believe. Last time I looked, they were in stock, so get them because they do go out of stock, and there's been times I've had to wait for them. Then the matted, of course, it's just go online and whatever size mat you want to use, and then there are backing, or you can just use a piece of paper to back it to save money. But if it's to sell and it's professional, just get whatever size mat you want and whatever size backing on Amazon, and then create your art that way. And the cards, these cards are absolutely beautiful. So there's several things you can do. You can either get packages. This is both from Strathmore. One is watercolor, and I got these last year, the year before, not this year. So I haven't priced them out this year, but these are what I have left over. But these are sets where the mixed media cards and envelopes, or the watercolor cards and envelopes. Or you can get this came from Red Paper. This is very nice. This is paper canvas. So you can get paper. This is actual paper canvas, which is beautiful. A little bit more expensive, depending on the purpose of what you're doing these for. Are they going to be to sell? Are they going to be to give as gifts? Or I've used them a lot to introduce myself as an artist, to give somebody a piece of original art and for them to get to know me. And a lot of my repetitive customers I have returned because I've introduced them to my art that way. Then you can buy papers. These are all different sizes. This is regular mixed media paper. Here's a different size of mixed media paper you can buy. Then you can make your own. So these are two different sizes depending on the size, and make sure you measure them because you want to make sure you get envelopes that match. But this is regular mixed media paper that I've made myself, so you can do that. Then you get the envelopes, and you just order the envelopes depending on the size that you're looking for the paper that you've used. And how you can do that is you just go online and make sure the envelope is bigger than your paper. But this is a recollections set, and I've got them in different colors. I've got, envelopes that are in black and brown and silver. But for this, start out with white and get yourself going. But you can order your envelopes. Then if you want to take it the next step, you get your little plastic bags, and I just get mine from a, Amazon is where I go a lot. And these are two different sizes. So make sure that you get the size that matches your mixed media. You don't want to Like these are too small. These are great for the little matted art, but these are better for some of my envelopes. So make sure you get the right size so they fit in there. And then this is the labels. It's the online label. That's this particular company. I've always ordered from Avery, but this is the company I ordered from. And it tells you when you go into Word, you go on over to stickers or labels. You type in your label, or you scroll down and find the label, and then you do multi-page, and you come up with your labels. And then these are circles, so you just peel them off when you're ready to use them. And you can put these on the back of your art, put them on the back of your envelopes. It's just a great way to get your information out there in a really attractive way. So the next segment, we'll talk about making the art. Okay, for this next section, I'm going to start with different ways that you can create the art for your cards or your frames. You can start with a larger piece of art that you have. And I just grabbed several pieces of art that I have. These are in sale in my store, but for this purpose, I wanted to show you how you can go about using a piece of art that you have. And for the matted pieces, I just go around until I find a spot on my painting that I like, and I cut that out. So you can see that would make a beautiful piece of art inside that matted frame. This is also a way, not to get off the subject, but if you wanted to create a larger piece of art by taking a picture of that, and then you could that'd be a beautiful larger piece of art. So the same thing with just any. I mean, these are some very moody. That's a very pretty. You can go around and find some spots that you like on any size, whatever size your frame is. Same way with the smaller frames. My little smaller frame, I would take this out, pull that mat out, and look around. And if you need to embellish, so say you liked that right there, if you wanted to embellish that, like outline the circles or add gold to that, you certainly can. Or that, and then add some dots of gold up there, or add some circles there. So you can embellish a piece if you don't like exactly what you've chosen. If you like what you've chosen, but you want to embellish it a little bit more, it just makes it a more creative piece of art. So a second way is, of course, to hand paint on, paper, watercolor paper, painting. And this particular one is just a dragonfly that I painted and then cut her out and just glued her on with glue, and it makes it for a beautiful card. Here's an example of some pieces that I've cut out already that I was possibly going to use in one of the envelopes I did, or one of the pieces. Now, another thing you can do, and I've done this a lot, is you take your whatever your paper is, either one that you've ordered or one that you've hand folded from maybe watercolor paper. And you take, for instance, this. This is from my painting. And I liked the painting so much. So what I did was I went to my printer and I printed out the a couple sheets. These are the same printed out paintings I've already done, and I'm going to cut those out and glue them on, and I'll show you in the next segment how I do that, and then how I will make some original art. So the next segment will be some actual making of the art. All right, for this next step, I've taken just a regular piece of paper and I've taken the size that I might want for my card, and I've just measured. So I took a ruler and I just measured, and then I measured on a piece of paper and I cut it out. So I have like a template. So then I take the template for whatever size I want to use. And remember, I'm a very messy, go with the wind type of an artist. I'm not an exact artist. I just, that's how I roll, and I'm okay with that. Some people are very precise, so they may use one of those cutters. I don't. So I take my template and I just put it over where I think my design would look good, and I cut it out. So sort of like this. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know, this is real pretty through here. So I'm going to take my template and just draw around it. And this is for whatever size envelope that you're working on. So this template might be bigger, it might be smaller. And then I just cut it out. And this would be the same if you were using a piece of watercolor paper that you already have painted on it, or it would be the same. I mean, you could make rough edges, you could make smoother edges. There's a lot you can do with this. I'm just doing a very simple example. So here's two of this is just done on copy paper with my template, and it's going to be adhered to my envelope. So since this was a long video, I am going to have a part 2 right after this, and this is when I'm going to hand paint and finish off these beautiful projects. So please join me on the next one.